Hi guys, Farmall here. A friend of mine that works with me took over a pizza shop in a town, probably about 20 minutes from here. And there's a bunch of stuff down in the basement, and the owner of the building said she could get rid of it and any money or profit she made on it to put it right back into the business, because he just wanted the basement cleaned out. So I went and picked up a whole bunch of stuff. First are these two old refrigerant compressors. They were disconnected down in the basement. This big one is a Brunner, 2-cylinder. I don't remember how big the motor was. It's anyway, it's a Delco motor. Oh, there's horsepower. Is that one? 1 horsepower Delco motor. The compressor itself is set up. The shaft turns a little bit, but the pistons are stuck. Probably from sitting down in the basement with the lines cut off. And this one here, I'm not sure of the manufacturer, but it has a Kelvinator motor on it. And this one runs. I just plug this scary wire into my extension cord here. And that one runs. Those are pretty neat, and got a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna put it up on the workbench one at a time and do kind of another my stuff video. This is an American Duplex coffee grinding machine. I think it's all here. These small parts were actually inside the unit, the shelf. This is pretty yellow. This is the handle that goes on here. This is the grind selector. When you dump the coffee in there, and the top is actually loose, so you can kind of look down in there and see what we got. This was kind of taken apart. I don't know if they took it apart to move it down in the basement. The cord's really crackly on it. It's got a red cup coffee bag in here, and there's a light bulb in here that's supposed to light up, but I imagine it's blown. That's where this plexiglass cover goes. And I haven't figured out where this little piece goes yet, but that was laying down in the bottom of there as well. And this little bag's got all the screws and stuff to put it back together. But it does run. So that's kind of a neat looking piece, and get it all cleaned up, get it put back together. It'd be nice for a restaurant or something to have, just for a display piece. I'm not sure how old it is. I would guess probably 50s, maybe early 60s, not positive. The pizza place used to be a grocery store, I think in the 60s. Next we have a Globe Stimpson, model number 81. Butcher scale. Has a capacity of 24 pounds. Division of Globe Slicing Machine Company, the Stimpson Computing Scale Company. I haven't done any cleaning up on any of this. I'm not exactly sure how you read this, but it has a 1 cent graduation and a 2 cent graduation and more 2 cent graduations, and the weight is here on the left. But as the weight goes up and down, it goes to those different scales. I'm not sure what that means, but so there's that. It's actually in really halfway decent shape. I don't think there's any chips in any of the porcelain. It's mostly just dirt on there. Next we have a sanitary scale company, Butcher scale. Model V10. This was last calibrated in 86. The other one was 76. The Globe Stimpson scale. And this has the same cent graduations, 2 cent graduations and 1 cent graduations. So I'm not sure if that's per pound, or how it works. But the scale is on the right hand side of this one. And these both light up. This one has a switch on the front of it, but both of the bulbs are no good. And this is in decent shape underneath all this grime. Again, I don't think there's any chips in any of the porcelain, but I don't know for sure because I haven't cleaned it up yet. And I got these two Chesterfield cigarette, I guess they're signs. They were stapled to a couple old screen doors. And then this old Prince Albert tin. This is in kind of rough shape, but not too bad. These are dirty. They got a little surface rust on them, but I think they clean up halfway decent. And a bunch of old glass bottles. This one's not real old because it has a plastic screw on top, but it is green glass. I thought that was kind of neat. And we got a bunch of disconnects and switches. This is an Arrowheart safety start switch. This is a Federal fused switch. And this is a General Electric fused switch. I can't open this one. And this is an American fused switch. These were probably on all the old compressors and stuff down in the basement. And this one is a really, really old fused switch. And we got this old Sunbeam Bread door pull. It has the extender in here. Pardon my camera work. It has the extender in here for the different width doors. It looks like it was set to right about there. It's got a little rust on it here. But other than that, it's complete with the pull. Most of the time you just find this part. But it's got the pull. And the other thing that's really cool is I actually have the screen, which has kind of got this, it's like painted or something right on the screen. I cut that out of the door because I thought, you know, most of the time you wouldn't see one of those. And then, in digging around, I actually found, I think, this is a brand new one that's never been mounted or cut, that they must have shipped to the store. Wound up as I found it. Full width. And next we have this thing. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's kind of decorative. And this part, I'm not sure if this part goes with it or not, but this says Sensible 24 on it. I mean, and it almost acts like it would, you know, fit in here or something. I'm guessing it has something to do with a scale. Maybe you hung the different weights on here or something. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat, and I'm not even sure if this goes to it, but they were laying on the floor in the same spot. So if anybody knows what this thing might be, it has me stumped. And we have this. This, I believe, is 1930s vintage. It's what's called an ad clock. This, it's too bad the neon is broken, and there's supposed to be a wooden face that's missing. But basically, there was a window here surrounded by neon, and then the round part here with the clock face surrounded by neon, and the rest of this was wood, kind of rounded to a point here, kind of like a tombstone shape. And then this would have different ads in it, like for cigarettes or bread or whatever. And I'm not sure how often, but every so often the clock movement would, there's a ratcheting mechanism in here that would rotate this drum, and a new ad would come up. I'd plug it in and try it, but that's kind of scary. But I think it could be restored. You have to make a new front and have somebody make a new piece of neon for it. But the basic shape of the neon tube is here. You know, this is the tricky part. This is where actually the wood was cut a slot between here and the bottom opening, and the badge that said the clock's name was on that. And the second hand is missing or broken off or something. There's supposed to be a second hand. Then we got a couple tin signs and a wooden sign. This is a New York State Lottery tin sign. I couldn't find how old this was. I guess probably from the 70s, maybe 80s. It's a two-sided sign. It's in pretty decent shape, but it is fairly thin. So we got that one. We have a Hershey's ice cream sign. This is embossed. It's raised up here, and so is this. So it's only one-sided. I think it's aluminum. It's kind of dirty. Haven't cleaned it up or anything yet. And then we have this wooden sign. I'm guessing it's a R for Republicans, maybe. I don't know the significance of the dove, I think, maybe. I don't know. But I didn't find one with a D, so I don't know if it's Republican or if it stands for something else. But I would assume that that was a handmade sign. It is on plywood, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat looking. Now, I have a whole bunch of this stuff. Well, not a whole bunch, but first of all, I have these. There's two of these, I think. These are paper, and they're meant to be folded over something, maybe a string or framed, or I'm not exactly sure. But it's some kind of a poster, S&H green stamps. And then this is a very heavy two-sided sign. It's got a little ding up here where it's gotten dropped. It's got 4 mounting holes, and it's got 2 grommets. And it was made by the Stout Sign Company, St. Louis, Missouri. Made in the good old USA. And I have 2 of these big banners. We give S&H green stamps on all purchases. Since this one was made by the National Flag and Display Company, New York City. They are two-sided. This one's a little bit bigger. This one's a little bit smaller, a little bit narrower, but it says the same thing. That's the No Tear Banners by National Flag and Display Company, New York City. And that is two-sided as well. And then we got this big baby. This is a two-sided fluorescent light-up sign that's supposed to hang outdoors. This side is a little bit yellowed. And this side is a little bit dirty. But I just tried her. And she does light. It's got the old starter style bulbs in it. It looks like there's 3 tubes in there and they all light. So that's kind of neat. I have no idea what I'd do with it, but it'd probably look pretty good hanging in a restaurant or something. Okay, now we're in the house. This is kind of hard for me to do because I'm standing on my tiptoes. But this was down in the basement of the pizza place. It's I believe it's the upper portion of like a floor scale. It goes to 1,500 pounds. This Rochester scale works. The center slider is 1,300 pounds, and then there's 2 that go to 100. This bottom one and this top one. The lock is there. I imagine there would have been another weight hanging on this, that's gone, and this linkage would have went through the hole here to the basement or wherever the rest of the guts were. This hung on the wall apparently, and I think this is the calibration. This slider here, back and forth, but I mean, they do slide. This one has teeth in it that lock in. But it's old and dusty, but I thought it was really neat. That'd be another good one for like a restaurant or something. Have that hanging on the wall. And then we've also got this stuff. This was actually the first thing I found that sparked my interest down in the basement. This was hanging on a nail up in one of the floor joists. I would assume that this is the original key to the front of the building. That door is long gone. When it was a hotel. There's a lot of wear, and you can see it's a little bit bent. So my guess is the maintenance guy or whoever was in charge of the building had a new key made, and this one was hanging down in the basement as a spare. And then I found this lock set, and I thought, oh, that's the lock set that key goes in. But it's not. This key's way too big. But this is an interesting lock set anyway. And the original handle set. And the two escutcheons. This actually just bolted to the face of the door on the inside. That's why it's kind of fancy looking. And then this escutcheon and this escutcheon would be on the outside. And I have some of the screws in here. And I also have these pulleys. And these are just plain old boring little pulleys. But I took them because they were mounted in the ceiling down in the basement. And these were what used to run the chains for the coal furnace. And I was hoping that I'd find the control piece that would have been upstairs, but that's apparently long gone. So we got those. And then we have this. I found this nailed up into the rafters with some old square nails in the two holes. And this is from the Nunde Electric Light Company, Incorporated. And Nunde Electric Light Company was sold to RG&E, I think, in the mid-20s. I'd have to go and look. So these are at least like 1920 age. And it looks like this was supposed to be the record of when they came and read the meter, and it would stay at the building. And you can see that there's a bunch of these that are tore off. And then this would be the part that they would take back to their office. And I don't know if they would mail you this, but it says to Nunde Electric Light Company, or maybe the person who lived in the building would read this and send it to them. I'm not positive how that would have worked, but I thought that was really neat, so I yanked the nails out and brought them home. There's a whole pad of them, and it looks like there's, I don't know, maybe 6 or 10 that were filled out. Probably about the time that the company was sold to RG&E, and they didn't do it that way anymore. So I thought that was pretty neat. And that basically concludes everything that I got from the pizza shop. And back when I picked up that record player there, I also bought these 4 old cameras at the same garage sale. This is a Kodak. And this is also a Kodak. Eastman Kodak Company #2 folding. Cartridge. It's weird because the back of this one doesn't come off. You actually take the camera guts out the front side. And this little Univex 8mm movie camera does run. And this Keystone 8mm movie camera. This apparently was dropped at one time. This one runs. and I picked up a bunch of 45s because they were decent music and they were all in the original sleeves. I'm not going to read all these, I'll just let you see them. You can read them for yourself. That's Enya, Sail Away. She had a whole bunch of them, but these are the Bonnie Tyler Total Eclipse of the Heart. These were the best ones that I like, my particular kind of music. Most of them anyway. That's Bobby McFerrin, Don't Worry, Be Happy. Tutti Frutti, Little Richard. And this is my little crate amplifier that I got. And it has a wire that's hooked to this. This is a Fender Squier Stratocaster. Yes, I know it's missing the two top strings. It was that way when I got it, and I haven't been to the music store yet. And this is actually a Crate GFX 15. There's supposed to be an emblem here that says Digital Signal Processing and an emblem here that says Crate. And I have no idea why somebody would have taken them off. But I don't know how to play the guitar. But the string is a little bit plinky. But that doesn't matter because I have to get new strings for it anyway. And it has distortion. And it's got all kinds of cool effects. Delay, flange, chorus and echo, reverb, etc. And I don't know, I always wanted a guitar. And I mean, I could play a couple chords and stuff, but you can't really play it with missing the two high strings anyway. But this, I was walking in the Salvation Army maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was heading out the door, didn't find anything that I wanted, and I saw this in the glass case up by the cashier, and it said $50, and I said, well, actually $49.99 or $49.95, something like that, amp included. So I don't figure that's a bad deal. It came with the cord, the guitar, the amp. It's missing the whammy bar stick, but you can get that as a replacement. And it's missing the back cover, and it's got a few dings and scratches and stuff in it, but it plays. It ought to be fun to mess around with, especially when wintertime comes again. Ooh, I don't want to think about that. But anyway, thanks for watching.